Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a dissertation stating only what I understand to be facts about President Trump and his ability or inability to build a border wall. Now, I'm starting this live stream a little early because I have several things to post. So if you'll just give me a moment to post, I'm going to let me post some statistics and or figures before anybody says hello, and then we'll get to the questions regarding any topic on the wall. I'm going to try to keep it directly related to President Trump's wall. Although, okay, so hold on a moment. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to turn this computer screen down for a moment, and then I will be able to post this stuff rather fast. So just as I said, give me a moment. Oh boy, I'm not able to. I'm not able to do it. Apparently, I have too many words. Let's see. Okay, that's a different. Okay, hold on. That file came from someplace else. Okay. All right. Now, I am going to post some facts about how long it would take it's not so easy to do this for me because I can't see. So I'm going to put a different pair of glasses on. Okay, this is better. Just give me a moment, and then you'll be able to read these statistics, and then you'll be able to ask questions based on the statistics themselves. Okay, some of them went over 200 words, so I have to remove some of the letters from the 200 characters, which is really ridiculous considering when people do live streams, they should be able to paste what's necessary to continue with the live stream. I have about 7 more posts, and then you will be able to ask questions about Mr. Trump's border wall, and I will be able to answer it from the point of view that I was an actual dock builder in New York City for a short period of time, and then I owned my own marine construction company. And I can tell you firsthand how complex it can be to build what we call waffle sheathing. Um, a wall, and if it's in sand like they are doing in the desert, it's a lot easier. However, Trump's border wall that they're building in the desert right now as a preliminary border wall is not the truth in regards to how long it's going to take. The truth is they are digging a hole in sand a couple of feet wide. They might be using a 3-foot bucket, and it's in sand and it's on a flat plain. Okay, so you have two things going for you, and it's in a desert. There's no rocks, there are no trees on either side, so to speak. There are no barriers of rivers or mountainous terrain, which is a lot harder to set up the equipment. It if it takes, say, it takes 12 minutes or thereabouts to set up a truck um, with a boom on it to pick up these sheets, because the truck usually, the boom truck, the boom truck usually is moved, and then they have outriggers come out of the side of the truck, and then that levels it to make it level. And inside the cabin of the machine itself is a computer readout as to whether or not the truck is level. And that makes a difference when they're picking up large weights. Now, even though they're not picking up large weights, a good operator is going to hello, Jack. I have 2 more things to post. Just give me, I don't know why this is like this. Hold on a minute. Okay. I'm going to cut that. Okay. Yep. All right. One more minute, Jack. I'll be done in a minute for sure. Have too many characters in some of these postings. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. A good operator is going to make the machine level before he makes a pick. Why? Because a good operator is going to do that. That's why. I can't tell you why that they do. Well, I could tell you why they do it. It's called job security. But they'll use the safety operation procedures of OSHA to make the machine level, and before they make a pick, because it's all, you have to remember that these new machines are all computer operated. So if the machine was off level, even just a small amount, okay, I'm done posting. Okay. So now if the machine was not level while they're making these picks, and for some reason there was an accident, well, that would be recorded, and the operator would be responsible for whatever happened during the pick itself. So here we go. Okay, so now I have 13 people watching, and I'm going to go over some things with you in regards to building walls. Okay, and in regards to Mr. Trump's promises. Trump is one of the most successful builders in the world. Good morning, Samuel. Trump was one of the most successful builders in the world. Yes, Samuel. Good morning. Okay, and before he made the promise of building a wall, he knew he could never accomplish this. Now, there's a lot of reasons why Mr. Trump could never accomplish this task. Among them is some people, and I just got a comment from a man called, good morning, Mr. Nuts. Thank you for coming, you and Jack for coming and taking care of business on the live chat. Mr. Trump knew that he couldn't build a wall because before he, as a builder, ever promises to sign a contract, he knows what the probability of him finishing the contract on time is. Now, the 1980s guy left a comment on my page about my last Trump's border wall video, stating that Trump is fighting Congress and the Senate or the administration and judges. He hasn't even started to fight environmentalists. These environmentalist judges will stop the building of a wall over a mountainous area because of an insignificant, to most people, bug, even a bug like the snail darter with Mr. Obama. He shut down the water to 400,000 acres of prime growing land in California. Good morning, Scott. If Trump, Scott, thank you. You know, people, I'm not going to get involved with this. I've done this marine construction and all wall building with waffle sheets as a dock builder. I know how to get it done, but in the way that Trump is getting it done and in the time frame that he's getting it done, it just can't be done. So as a contractor, Mr. Trump knew all the pitfalls that he was going to run into. Now, what I just said, Obama, Mr. Obama, he stopped water from flowing to 400,000 acres and put 40,000 people out of a job in one executive order on prime growing real estate that was over 150 to 300 years old, in some cases, orchids for peaches and apples and all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And he did that because he wanted to and put 40,000 people out of work. Could you imagine what judges can stop in a desert where there's not 40,000 people involved? He's fighting a judge now. They're fighting a judge now in New Hampshire that says illegal immigrants are supposed to be able to vote. That's against our Constitution. And a judge allowed this to happen. And Trump is at the mercy of this judge, a local judge, to not be able to enforce voter ID in New Hampshire. Can you imagine what a judge will say about some bug in the desert they haven't had a study on? But digressing back to what Trump knew how long it would take to build a border wall. And at the current rate of progress, which is exactly it's 2.5 miles in 8 months. So let's just go with a 3 mile per year growth of the wall for one company. That means it's going to take 700 months to complete 2,100 miles. However, the wall is being constructed on a flat, level plain of sand. Once you get up into the mountainous areas and rock, it could be solid rock, at which point the wall construction has to be built differently. So you might only get a mile in a year per company. So let's say he could continue at 3 miles per year per company, and let's say he hired 5 companies. Well, you're still talking about 18 years, or roughly. But if it did go down to a mile per year for some of those companies, then you're talking about 25 years to complete a wall. And he knew this. This isn't something Mr. Trump did not know. He had those statistics and facts in front of him. He knew he was going to have to fight Congress. And he made this one of his what they call stump speeches, where he was going to build a wall. He knew he was never going to build a wall. Now let's go into the statistics of how many people have come into America and how much it costs the American taxpayer. And then let's go into why he didn't appropriate the funds from the military. He says it's because it's illegal. But the 1980s guy left a comment on my channel that he's fighting Congress and the Senate. And it has to be a national emergency in order for Trump to supersede the Senate and the House, which I don't know much about. But this is a national emergency. Each year, according to the statistics, which you can never know whether or not they're true, but illegal immigration in hospital, medical, schooling, apartment rentals, electric, dental, surgeries, elective surgeries and non-elective surgeries cost America $100 billion a year. I would think that's a national emergency, considering he said it would cost whatever he said it would cost, 11 billion, 13 billion, I think was his final number. Then someone said 21 billion. Well, if even say it cost 25 billion, at this current rate, of 100 billion a year, which is probably closer to the truth because, by the way, the government lies. 100 billion a year. If he built the wall, it would save America $75 billion a year. That's a national crisis. But he's not going to do that. The plan was from the get-go to make you believe that there is a savior in President Trump. Now, his personal viewpoints have never changed over the last 40 years of his making statements politically. But politicians are not able to do what they want. There are other powers and principalities. I'll answer that question in a minute, Mr. Nuts. Hello, Jim Schultz. You finally caught a live stream, Jim Schultz. Hello, good morning. He's been saying he wants to catch a live stream. He wants to catch a live stream. Okay, so his political aspirations and statements have nothing to do with what he's going to be allowed to do. Okay, so as a builder, he knew that he could never accomplish this task. He knew it could never be done in time. So let's give him 3 miles per year. Let's give him 5 successful contracting companies, and let's give him not 25. Let's give him $50 billion to do this. Okay, and let's give him. It's only going to take 15 years. Well, there are 7,000 people trying to get into the country right now, and I would wager big money that it's closer. There's see, the news doesn't tell you the truth. They say 7,000, it's probably, and then another news station said 2,000, and then another news station said 14,000. Well, which is it? We have $100 billion worth of drones and high-flying aircraft and technology that can see a license plate from 50 miles up in the sky or 50,000 feet. Are you telling me they can't tell you how many people are in this crowd? Just take an estimate. Every 100 feet, there are X amount of people. And they know that the caravan is 7 miles long. So you take X amount of people, divide it by 100 feet, and that's approximately how many people are in the caravan. They have technology that will count every single person on the road, but they're not using that technology. The government has the technology. The newspapers keep making up stories. It's 3,000, it's 5,000, it's 7,000. It's a lie. What don't you get? They're not telling you the truth about how many people are in the caravan. Let me just look at a few comments before I go any further. And then I'm going to go back to, let's say it only took 15 years. Somebody remind me where I am. Mr. Nuts, he proposed that the wall would be 30 to 40 feet high and 18 feet wide. And there would be cars and or small vans going in each direction carrying border patrol. Now we have a piece of sheet metal in the ground that's in some places only 14 feet high. And this is another lie that they make. The waffle sheet, so the sheet that they stick in the ground, is 30 feet long, but it goes in the ground 15 feet. So they're saying Trump is building a 30-foot wall. Well, we would perceive a 30-foot wall to be 30 feet high, but the wall goes underground 15 feet. So now the wall above ground is only 15 feet tall. 15 feet tall, a couple of athletic guys could jump up on each other's shoulders and make a bridge and have people flopping over there like, like a slinky. Okay, so we're going to go back. I'm going to go back to the comments. Robert Frick says it costs Connecticut $100 million a year. So Robert Frick is lying to you. Robert Frick says it costs Connecticut $100 million a year. He's lying to you, not intentionally, but he's lying to you because that's what the government says it costs. But let's just say that Robert Frick's statement is factual. That's $100 million per year for illegal immigration. And that's $100 million a year that could have been used for education and or housing veterans or schooling children or teaching, skills. So it's $200 million a year. So unintentionally, Robert Frick is lying to you because that's what the government says. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. Even if it is 100 million, which it's not, I guarantee you it's probably 175 million. But they say 100 million. They don't take into all the other factors. So Robert Frick, I apologize. I was only being sarcastic. But you're not lying. Those are the numbers that are given you, but they're lying to you, which in turn you're lying to us. Jay Bird, I don't know if we're going to get a hurricane. And they don't call it hurricanes here. They call it typhoons. Try to stay on topic. We're talking about Mr. Trump's wall. It's a good question. And if it happens, it'll happen 2 days from now. Typhoon. Probably not. Another thing, the news lies to you too about everything. Okay. So I'm not even going to, the more caravanners, the more workers we have for the wall. That's nonsense. Stop posting garbage like that on my live stream, please. That's not the truth. I took the time to read it just to show people what is wrong with you people that you have to come here and interject some stupid comment into a serious subject. Okay. Spanky, who's a member of my Patreon account and a friend of mine, and I speak with on a regular basis, he made a perfectly sane comment. Take Trump's words seriously. It's what he wants to do. But you can't take them literally because it can't happen. Now, we're going to digress back to the 15-year period that it could take Trump to build the wall with 5 serious companies involved. Well, in 15 years, what they say now is illegal immigration. First of all, the numbers of illegal immigration are all skewed. For 10 years, they said there were only 11 million illegals. Then people came up with the facts that there were 34 to 38 million illegals. So they raised the number to 22 million illegals in America. So let's just say it's 1 million a year because they're lying to you. The government lies to you. Okay.